why a lot of women bash African men. African men are like this. African men too hard. What are some misconceptions about African men that women have?
Not open-minded. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah. People don't think African men are open-minded. It just depends on who you're dealing with, okay?
African stereotypes, the fact that a lot of people say Africans are not smart, Africans are not athletic, Africans are not creative in arts and music and whatnot. All the stereotypes that, oh, Africa is scary, it's violent, it's dangerous. So we're gonna jump into all of that and speak about why Africa is a great place and Africans are open-minded, we're great, we're good people, you know? Yeah, we're gonna speak about our culture.
So when you say that we're gonna speak about our culture, what is first African culture?
Thing is, in Africa, you buy things not from credit like here in the States. If you have a house, you buy
Dash.
So one thing is really important that we have to know that so many people in the United States or in America is, I know I'm African and I really have this terrible African accent. And the majority of time when I talk to people, what I don't really appreciate is when you talk to somebody, whoever they are, they be like saying the thing. Sometimes I'm like, why are you hiring me?
Right.
So today in this episode, we will be talking about this subject that really get into mind, talk about African things that happen. People have ideas, but I don't really want to get to it myself. I want to get Taylor. So Taylor, tell me what are we into today?
What's going on? What's up?
What's up?
How are you guys doing today?
Man, wonderful, bro. Wonderful.
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Yeah.
Blessed and highly favored. We're doing good on this side. Today we're gonna be speaking about African stereotypes.
Definitely.
So for those of you that are tuning in right now, African stereotypes, the fact that a lot of people say Africans are not smart, Africans are not athletic, Africans are not creative in arts, in music and whatnot. All the stereotypes that, oh, Africa is scary, it's violent, it's dangerous. So we're gonna jump into all of that and speak about why Africa is a great place and Africans are open-minded, we're great, we're good people, you know? Yeah, we're gonna speak about our culture.
So when you say like we're gonna speak about our culture, what is first African culture?
Let's bring in my man Dennis in here. Dennis, how you doing, man? You good?
Man, I'm good, bro. I'm good, you know. I'm
bring us into your world.
Here,
what do you do? Who are you? You know?
Man.
So the people can get to know you a little bit.
Man, where do I start? You know, it's a long process, man. How much time we got to talk about? You know, so I guess we Taylor and I met. You know, we met at Texas Tech. You know, for doing my undergrad at least. You know, and we became very good friends. And I think we met when we were doing orientation. We tried to do orientation. We were one of those people that try to do orientation and all that kind of stuff. But we went to school. I graduated. I worked a little bit, and then I went back for my master's. Okay, of course, knowledge, bro. You can never have enough. You got to keep empowering yourself. So I'm done with it, but I got my master's in communications. Of course, I felt it was a good foundation for me, because I'm trying to go to law school. Law school is on my heart, so it was a good foundation for me to get into doing a lot more reading than I was doing in undergrad. Even though my undergrad was in philosophy, but in undergrad, in undergrad, most people, you don't do all the readings, but for your master's program, you probably like what? Maybe 10 people in a class, and it's like a conference style class, so you have to be ready, So that was a good way for me to get into that headspace of getting back into the grind of like reading, getting ready for my assignments and all that kind of stuff. Of course, that's gonna be big for law school. So like I did that. And I was a graduate teaching assistant. I was teaching classes, while I was doing that. I was lucky to meet so many people. And apparently I'm very good at this, teaching stuff.
He said apparently. I don't
apparently,
think so.
man.
People think so.
That's what
you gotta
they say.
trust in your ability.
I see my reviews at the end of the year, and it's like glowing, man. I'm like, top 2, and I'm not number 2, bro.
Top 2, but I'm not number 2.
I'm not number 2, bro. So yeah, so that's kind of how it went, and then I graduated. And like law school is a process, you gotta take the LSAT, you gotta study for a little bit, So I was done with my master's, and you gotta do something, you can't just stay at home and all of that. So, I've been blessed, with my family and all of that supporting me, but I still gotta get out there, and figure things out. So right now I'm actually teaching at UNT. Yeah, and I'm teaching communications at UNT, but to hold me down, I'm ready to go to law school. So that's basically it. That's all I can. I feel like the more we get into stuff, the real, me or like the more you get more information.
Thought-provoking question for you, my man. real quick. So Nigerian jollof or Ghanaian jollof?
Come on, man. Come on, man.
You gotta answer to that question. You gotta answer.
Nah, listen.
Yeah.
Listen. We love our Nigerians. I love my Nigerian brothers. My boys. Me and them Nigerians. We're cool. We're cool. But come on, man. Ghana jollof, top. Bro, top. Listen, I know like sometimes they try to get into it, and then there's like I think Liberia or some other countries try to get into it. I'm like, bro, chill out. Set this one out, man. Chill out, set this one out. Yeah. But bro, Ghana jollof, untouchable.
Why?
It's just the way it's made with love. Listen, we love our Nigerians for sure, but their food is not touching Ghana food like that. I mean, that's just. You know what's crazy? There's 2 countries between Ghana and Nigeria, but we just act like they don't exist. And no, for real, cause like everybody thinks like Ghana and Nigeria are neighbors, but what they don't know is there's Benin and Togo, literally between Ghana and Nigeria. But like
nobody pays attention to that.
Like nobody messes with them. Like it's like
I don't know that many Togolese.
Yeah. Exactly. How many people from Benin
Not
do
that,
you know?
2?
No, hold on. And I think my geography is right, because I know there's definitely Ghana, like Benin and Togo between Ghana, and because of the way we act, because of the way we act, it's kind of like they don't exist, But with music, music, listen, I ain't gonna lie, the Nigerians got it. Bro, they got it. I'm an honest person.
You got it.
I'm an honest person. I am very patriotic. I love my Ghana. All of that. But music, bro, the Nigerians got it on lock. I mean, listen, like with their big 3, Burna Boy, Whiskey, Davido. I mean, nobody in Africa is touching them. That big 3. And then after that, they got they got like.
There's a lot of people in Africa, especially if you go to Congo.
Right. Listen, I know what you mean, but I'm just saying like their top 3, like that, Burna Boy, Whiskey, Davido, 3
That's only
monster-headed
like
monster.
If you go to different genres as well in gospel or whatnot. In Africa, so even South Africa is a lot.
So even I think this lady Angelique Kudjo, she's like very big, but not a whole lot of people will listen to her music. But she got like great music and all that kind of stuff. But I feel you, but it's just something about their top 3, and then like now they have like all this like Odumodu Black, Rema, bro, like they have like an artist every like 20 every 20 business days or 3 business days coming out, and like hits, bro. It's Latan, all of them are like even like kind of lost right now. You don't hear from them, but like bro, they got squad. But Ghana, we got Sarkodie here for sure. One person that's keeping it up is Black Sherif. I don't know if y'all have heard from him. Like, yeah, Black Sherif is also doing his thing, and he's like pretty big too. There's a few people, but it's just something about like the Nigerians, bro. They're definitely go-getters, man. They're hustlers. Nigerians, bro.
That's one thing I noticed about my Nigerian buddies, my Nigerian friends. Go-getters. Tell us about the time that you spent in Ghana. How much time did you spend there? What was it like for you, experience there?
Man, so I was in Ghana until I was like 16, which it was great, like a lot of people have this misconception, and like I got that, people will come in here and they will ask you, Do you live on hats? Like, do you walk around with like lions and cheetahs? And I'm like, bro, are you
That's
for
true.
real? And recently, like I ain't gonna lie, about like a week ago, I was we went to this older couple's home, and they're older for sure, and they introduced me, my family introduced me, and then they were like, hey, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Ghana, and then the lady goes, and it's an older lady, she goes, man, you speak like, your English is very good. And I didn't say anything, I wasn't trying to get into all of that, and like, I know she was out of curiosity, didn't know. But what they don't know is, I'm like, bro, do you know like our official language is English? People don't know that. And like when I first got here and I went to high school, there's a kid that came up to me and was like, hey, how long have you been in the US? And I was like, I've been here. I've been here like at that time. I've been there about like 2 weeks at the time when he asked me that. And I was like, oh man, like 2 weeks. And he's like, wow, you're really smart. I'm like, why? Yeah, I'm like, why? I mean, like, we don't have a class together. We just met. Like, what do you mean? He's like, you learn English in 2 weeks. And I'm like, what?
Like it's a big surprise.
It's a big surprise.
Surprise,
Yeah.
and like I don't blame them. Like, when you start to learn about America and all of that, they live in a bubble, But going back to your question about how it was, bro, it was great. There's a lot of misconceptions about Africa, and like, of course, like it's not all roses, but like, because all we see here, like, war-torn countries, things are happening, all of that. But public school in Ghana is different from public school here, definitely. But I was in private school. I was school, like I went to school, private school. So private school education, growing up with my family, you wake up, you play soccer, bro. Everybody plays soccer.
Everybody in
Bro.
Africa.
Everybody in Africa plays soccer, bro. So it was just like those kind of things, I never had to worry about, kind of like waking up and going to school and like something happening to me. But I was never scared of like getting kidnapped or like, and like I learned English at a young age. Like right when I, of course, like our official language is English, but then there's three, which a lot of, Ghanaians speak. Okay, so that was the thing is, of course, at home you were speaking Chi, but the moment you go to school, it's English. And like when you're in school, you don't speak anything other than English, And like I have a few friends in Ghana, like from Ghana, that their English, their Chi is not even good. Even at home, they speak English. So like that's what people don't know that part, And they're like, everybody like, I know like maybe one or two local languages, and people be doing clicking sound to you, like that's how all Africans talk. I'm like,
They be asking like, you speak African?
yeah, right. What is African? Like, what is African? What do you mean by that?
No, I think when you say Ghana is definitely a gateway to Africa, I think you're right because you got a lot of celebrities like Steve Harvey goes there a lot. Not only him.
Yeah, he did his he's done his show. What is the show? The one
The Family Feud.
Family Feud.
He's done it
He
there.
had an episode. He did a few episodes of Family Feud in Ghana. Yeah.
Idris Elba too? I think Idris Elba. Yeah. Idris Elba.
He's been like made like a king or something, and like like or something like that. I think I saw him dress up.
Yeah,
I don't know for sure, but like, don't quote me on it. But like, yeah, something like that. But like a lot of people go back, like I remember like 2018, 2019, they started doing this thing called like oh man, like something, I forgot what it is, man. But it will come back to me later. But yeah, they were doing all these things, and like a lot of people were going back home, to go see where everything is and all of that, and because like Ghana has the castles, so I didn't mean to cut you off, but like Ghana has those, the castles where slaves were transported out, Elmina Castle. So there's that history, and like a lot of African Americans in America, wanted to go back, to see what it's like, kind of trace their ancestry and all that kind of stuff. So like, yeah.
A lot of people, African Americans that are here in the States, go back just to chase their roots, where they're coming from. And one place that they usually go to a lot is Cape Town as well, South Africa. That's another big hub where they go. But speak about your experience whenever you're growing up as well, and some of the things that you went through, some of the challenges and some of the good things that you got from your experience.
So in terms of like good things, it was like I had a very good childhood, you know. I really did. I really did have a good childhood. Like I know like my parents tried, you know, especially my mom tried to do everything, you know, she could, you know, to try and, you know, make sure we were good, you know. Like I went to private school, you know, which not everybody like, bro, you know, like not everybody get to go to private school, you know. So one thing I've seen like in Africa, you know, since the biggest thing is education. Okay. Cause you know, when you were growing up and you saw like the families that their parents were like the families or your friends that, you know, like their parents like were very educated, you could see that, you know, their parents like, you know, have like more money than, you know, people that whose parents were not educated, you know, because like over there, like Nelson Mandela has a quote, you know, about how, you know, through education, the son of a chocolate seller can, you know, also dream big and wear like a white shirt or something like that, you know. But, you know, education is big. So like at least like my parents made sure that I was getting like the best education possible, okay, that I could get. And that helped me. And that's, you know, that's one of the reasons how I ended up here, you know, because I got a scholarship from, you know, from the United States to Kennedy Lugar Youth Exchange and Study. And like we took like, what do you call it, exams, went on interviews. And trust me, if I did not have like the training that I did with school and all that, you know, I probably wouldn't have gotten that, you know, and been here, you know. So that part at least was great. Like getting that opportunity, you know, for education, you know, was great. You know, with the bad things, you know, I wouldn't say they're bad because like they really like made you who you are. You know, like they beat us, bro. Like you know, you know, they whoop you with like belts and you know, like you know. But here's the thing: the older generation of America went through that.
But this generation, it isn't going through.
This generation did not. The older generation of America went through like getting legs. I think that's what they call it, like, getting legs. But like he went like in school in Africa, bro. Your teachers will whoop you,
bro.
You do something like you get slapped. Like you know, if your mom or if your parents like really like one teacher, what they will do is they will go to school and then they will tell the teacher, hey, you know, in school, that's your son. Whatever happens, you don't need to tell us. Take care of it.
That's what it means.
Whoop his butt. So most of the time, you get whooped in school, and then when you go home, you won't even tell your parents. Cause if you go, they'll ask, "What did you do? What did you?" And then when you tell them, you get like twice the whipping. So like, that was, and I don't want to like paint like, you know, a fake picture of Africa or like some in a way that it was all roses, but like I really can't think of like huge like struggles. Like there was like never like a war in Ghana or something like that I was like, oh man, my parents had to go find, you know, we had to leave. But everything is like normal everyday struggles that anybody else will go through, you know. So I can't think of like any big thing that I would say like I went through, you know. We were all bad as kids, you know. So like, you know, if you were bad and something happened, like you're a bad kid and like something happened to you, that's just, you know, you being bad, you know. Because I remember I broke my hand one time because I fell from a tree or something like that. But I was doing something bad, right. You know, we all have that, exactly. So I really can't think of like something that's like so bad.
I mean, bro, bro, why did you just give me on the spot like that? I mean, I don't know if you've got this experience whereby, you know, you've done something wrong at school, right? And then they tell you, hey, bring your parent. But you say, if you bring your parent, you tell yourself, if I bring my parent, I'm gonna like it's gonna be the end of my life. Right. They're gonna whoop me like so bad. But you know what you do? You find a random person outside. Yeah, I don't know if you've got it. Oh, yeah. You find a random person outside. You say like, hey, I can bring you as my uncle.
Right.
So,
those stories.
So it's cool. Then you can just act as my uncle or somebody like that because they need a parent at school. Bro, the worst thing is bringing that person, and then when they start telling him what you do, that person starts beating you up in front of the DA or somebody like that.
Yeah, principal or something.
I'm telling you, that person beats you like hard. And then when you get out, you say like, hey, I don't even know you. Why do you beat me like that? So, and then tell you, I have to show that, you know.
I'm a pinky back off that. You know, in Africa, there's like a sense of community where everybody's like in charge of like you. Okay, because like sometimes you be outside and some random stranger will just whoop you, and then they won't whoop you out of like desire, like they just want to do it. Like they will discipline you. So that's a word. They will discipline you, you know, because like there's that some sense of community that even though you might not be my son, but like I have like you shouldn't be doing that. Like I have an obligation on like my society or community to straighten you up. So like there's that also in like Africa where you know there's that sense of community, but like you know here you can't
That's
do
why
that.
a lot of us come out disciplined.
Good discipline, cause like it's not you know like school you get discipline, at home you get discipline, in your community if like you're acting a fool, somebody will just stop the day and whoop your butt. And then if you go tell your parents like, oh man, this person
ask
just
you
whooped
why.
me, and then first thing they'll ask, what did you do? The first one, what did you do? Cause they know like people were not out of like nowhere just whoop you, you know, for no reason. You know, they'll be like, what did you do? And then when you actually tell them what you did, now you're gonna get double. Cause like you are definitely acting bad. Cause like if you're acting that bad, cause they'll be your parents will be like, I'm ashamed that you are outside acting a fool and like, you know, you know you're my son. Like people know you're my son and you're acting like that in public, you're gonna get that
That's
double.
they always say. The parent in Africa, what they say, like when you're outside, you represent us. So whatever you do wrong there, it's showing like we don't really give you a good education. We don't really are good to you. So you insulting our family. So if that person beats you, so they're right to do it. Bro, and to that, I want to ask this question. Do you think like most African kids are traumatized by the fact of being whooped and being beaten up by parents?
So so like it's a fine line. I ain't gonna lie, it's a very fine line between, you know, discipline and, you know, sometimes a little overboard, definitely for sure. But hey, the Bible says spare the rod, you know, spoil the child. You know, so here's the thing. You know, of course like trauma and all of that is very, you know, important and all of that kind of stuff. But I feel like when you grow up, you get to, you know, appreciate some of it. You know, not all of it. Nobody likes to be beaten and all of that. So at some point, you know, emotes you. You may get a little traumatized for sure. But I feel like the benefits outweighs, you know, the other stuff, you know. So like yeah, because I feel like if we just let you do whatever you want, you know, like you know you're a kid, you know, you don't know what's great and what's good and bad, you know, you just do whatever, you know, cause like you know just dumb stuff, you know, cause your friends are doing it, so there's no sense of direction for anybody. So I feel like even though sometimes it may be a little too much and it could get maybe traumatizing a little bit, I feel like it's necessary.
Now, the funny part of it is when they start beating you up and it start being too much, and they be like, just leave him. That is enough. So that's okay. So why did you tell me first to him? Like, what the first?
Yeah, but you know, here's the thing: 'cause if she doesn't turn you in and get a little bit of discipline, you know, you just gonna out, you know, every day you're gonna be like, I'm sorry, and then you keep like it's a process. You're just gonna so yeah, I feel like sometimes it is what it is, you know. So
Definitely unique, I would say.
100%. I feel like maybe so like I see why when like some African parents that lived in America, when they have their kid here, they will send their kids to Africa for a little bit to go, you know. There's a few people that do that. You know, the experience is very unique, and I think it's very necessary to some degree for sure, you know, to have some sort of like an outside like an African experience, you know, or perspective, you know. I feel like sometimes it's important because like there's just something about how Africans are. It's just something about us that just want to do the right thing for the most part, you know, want to stay out of trouble for the most part. Because of like all that, you know, whoopings you've gotten in, you know. Yeah, so I feel like it's very important to have that, you know.
I think that a lot of people don't see is the fact that a lot of Africans in general, even all over the continent, majority of us, if you take even one, we speak at least 2 to 3 languages. It's so diverse. There's about 3,000 languages just in the continent alone. So that conception is just very hard for people to understand and see and fathom how. What some people speak 5, 10 languages, like my grandma, for example. So it's very unique. and how people are diverse in their experiences, in their culture, and the languages that we speak.
Definitely. So you mentioned something about people thinking that African are not smart, but hearing from your story when that you went from private school, you had to do some tests to get your scholarship here. You really are a smart person, and especially for somebody who's going to pursue it law school, but it's not given to anybody. So why is it that people think that African are not smart?
I feel like we just it's all like social, like no social media per se, but like it's just like now it's getting better, because like now people are getting to interact with a lot of Africans, but before that was not like something that was available. You don't get to see a lot of Africans and all of that, and what you see on TV is Al Jazeera or like CNN, the things that will show you is war. Like, they only show you war and all of that. But what people don't know is, one of the UN general secretaries was from Ghana, Kofi Annan. Smart man. He grew up in Ghana, went to high school in Ghana. Yeah. So like, I think people just are not informed enough. I don't want to say educated. People are definitely educated in this country, but they're not informed enough. And like I said, Americans do live in a bubble, and I don't mean that in like a bad way. It's just this country is great. Everything you want in this country, you get. Like you don't need to travel outside of because there's a lot. Like how many states are in here? 50 states, but that's 50 different countries technically that have come together, bro. People in New Orleans don't speak the same way as people in Dallas. So it's like different cultures in the US. So like the US is diverse enough that you don't have to leave the US to learn about other things. But of course, we've labeled it the United States of America. So sometimes it's important for you to leave that to learn about other places, just to broaden your, your mind and all of that. But all in all, I feel like the reason people is like, they're not informed enough. They've not come into contact with a lot of like Africans, and I think that has changed as people have gotten closer, or like people like come over for school or like met a lot of Africans. That has changed, definitely, because the average African you meet here, you probably don't want to mess with that dude, man. Because like my friend group that are Africans, bro, engineers, lawyers, doctors, bro, and I'm not even bluffing. Like these people, like, tell her over here. Tell her over here. What, you want to tell us where you work? Or no? That's a closed guarded secret now.
I think the whole podcast, majority of people know I am an engineer.
Exactly. Like he's an engineer, bro. That's it. I mean, that's crazy.
Most of us Africans are driven, and when we come here, we bring that motivation and that passion. So when you speak about intelligence in Africa, there's so much intelligence. Did you know that just whenever you go and do a CT scan or a CAT scan, the CAT scan was actually invented in Africa? Did you know that?
Bro, I didn't know that.
Medical
I'm not
innovations.
surprised. I'm not surprised because like I know like a lot of like Asian, like, but like even like look at Africa, there's like herbal medicines. You be sick, and then they might get you. Of course, you might get your paracetamol or ibuprofen or whatever it is that they have over there. But then one of your grandma or something, or one of these people be like, you know what? Let's go get you like the bark of a tree, with some tree leaves, boil it up, and then take it for like a week. It's strong like a fiddle. You good. Like you good. Yeah. You good. Like ginger, put stuff in there. Like there's all these things, that are so overlooked. Like, bro, it's like medicinal inventions, we might not have like the technology for it, but like if you go to like a typical African grandma that had lived for a minute, knows culture, has been probably lived in the same house, seen everything. That lady is a historian. She's a medical doctor. Okay. Yeah, she's a teacher, but experience. Yeah, no. Never took the MCAT. Never went to medical school, but she has hands-on experience. Like she's a teacher, a professor. Sorry, my bad. She's a professor. Can teach you things that you can learn in school. She's a chartered economist. Okay, she, bro, so much. So like that, like I feel like intelligence definitely overlooked
Definitely.
in
There-
Africa.
there's
Yeah,
there's this doctor. There's a lot of doctors that have really excelled in Africa. One doctor was recently noticed. I don't know if you guys know Denis Mukwege. He recently won the Nobel Peace Prize for advocating for women rights and whatnot. So there's a lot of doctors that are in the orthopedics and cardio fields. So innovation is constant in Africa. A lot of people neglect the fact that Africa is actually innovative.
you know what the U.S. currency is backed by? The full faith of the United
Yeah,
States.
it's not backed by
That's
gold
what it said.
anymore.
It's backed by nothing. It's backed by the fact that the U.S. can collect its debts, and it's just like the faith of the government or something like that. If you can cross-reference that for me, yeah, it's backed by the full faith of like the government or like the U.S. or something like that. That's what the wording is.
I personally know that I had some friend back in Congo that they were so crazy enough. The parent was had safe in the house, and that safe was full of cash. Not even in local currency, but in U.S. currency. Bro, people have money. All the numbers are good, and it's not. It's like saying in the royal family in Emirate. They say like those people have like just the net worth is like 1 billion. Bro, how can somebody take like the whole country that was in a desert country, bid all these things and just have 1 billion as net worth? Bro, those people can make 1 billion a day. But yeah, but it's just, bro, Africa, we have money.
Well, the thing is, in Africa, you buy things not from credit like here in the States. If you have a house, you buy it cash.
Cash. I have a friend back home, and he always talks about how, we are actually like we got bread, cause there's nothing like a credit system really in maybe they might do some sort of a credit system, but not really. Here, if you got good credit, got a good down payment, you got a good job, all of that, you can probably walk into somewhere and buy $1 million home right now. If you can have your 10-20% down, you have it available, you can go and buy that. Ain't nobody giving you that in Africa, bro. But you look now, if you look at Ghana, people like price their homes 300K, 400K in Accra, Ghana, bro, and they're expecting cash, and people are buying it.
People are buying
Pe-
cash.
When people buy cars, cash. And like these are vehicles that are being sold 60,000, 70,000, 100,000 in the US.
Yeah.
Cash. People buy, if somebody buys like a Tesla or something, bro, cash. It's all cash. So people got money. Like, if they did that credit system, I think that's another thing too. It's like, government policies, initiative, things we can do. Cause like now they're trying, digitalization is not that big in Africa too. That's the thing, but it's hard for like everybody to like here, you have your social security number and that identifies you, we just look up your social security number, we know where you've been, what school you've been to, what loans you've taken. We don't have that back home. So it's hard to keep track of everybody. And that's why it's hard to do all that kind of, credit system. But even other than that, people got money. And like when they buy things, they got bread, cash, 100%.
In Africa, for somebody to have an iPhone 15, they buy it cash. A brand new iPhone, cash. They spend like 1,000, like 1,500, like to buy the phone. So people have money, but why are we still kind of like not moving forward? Is it a mindset problem, or is it just people don't know how to handle stuff, or what is really the problem? And if there is a problem, how can we make sure that the next generation can move forward and overcome that challenge?
Man, that's a great question, bro. That's a great question. I think it's just at this point it's more like individuals and like like maybe you have like a little brother. You just educate him. It's just gonna have to be. I feel like it's gonna have to be like individual educations. Because like especially like you've been exposed to all this kind of stuff and like all this stuff like knowledge that you're literally dropping. You just have to. You're gonna have to impact your brothers. Let your parents know, hey, this is what's happening. This is the best way. I know y'all like the cash and all of that, but how about we start doing things this way? I do. We do need a fresh set of ideas and like all our politics for sure. Because still politics are run by old people back home. And like even in the U.S. look at the people running for president old, Trump is old, Biden was old, I know he dropped out, but it's still like old. So I feel like in Africa the biggest thing is we need to start letting the youth actually take over, and it'll take a minute because the youth are like more open-minded to like open-minded, and now they're like very privy to what is going on in the outside world and what other things through all of that kind of stuff, like social media, watching movies, traveling, because I know like if you were to go home right now and they put you in charge of like some department based on the experiences you've gained here, it's going to improve vastly. So I think it's a process. It will take a minute. It's not going to be. I don't even think it's a 10 to 20 year project. It will take a little bit, it's a while because there's still the old people that are still in there, so they need to enjoy their time. When their time is, it need to be a mix of experience and new knowledge, because sometimes you just need a fresh set of ideas and a fresh set of voice yelling. That's all it is. Sometimes that's what it is. A fresh set of voice yelling. That's what it is. Because, it could be the same message, but then it's cause like, man, I'm tired of hearing from you all the time. A fresh set of voice yelling the same thing could change, everything. So I think it's a process and it takes a little bit of time. So, yeah.
This just getting to me. Like, people don't change because you want them to change. Let's say you have a child that is sick. Like the child is pretty sick, right? And you bring medicine to the child because it's so bitter and it's not good. They don't want to get it. Right. Will you just say, okay, I just done my part, and then I'm gonna you're gonna
sometimes you're depressed. Yeah. Sometimes you're depressed because so I feel like there is a level of force that you could apply. Okay, you could apply some sort of force, like you were saying. In some situations, you can apply some sort of force, But at the end of the day, if you're applying, people are not, because like let's say if you're recently. My parents are trying to guard my little brother with what he wants to do, okay? And he wants to just have fun. He doesn't want to do, doesn't want to do the hard stuff. He just want to relax, just do, which is fine, but he's still young and he still needs some guidance. So as much as we give him some sort of, free way to do what he wants or space for him to try and figure out, they try to still be like, hey, even though you want to do this, but this is the best way, and 18, yeah, you're still living under my roof. If you still want to live under my roof, you're going this way. So sometimes there's a little bit of force that you can apply for sure.
So now the question to this one is, what are we gonna do as African? People are being open to us. People are trying to see opportunity coming to us. But as African, what can we do ourselves to be known and to change our mindset, how to change things and to make Africa bigger than how it is today?
Maybe, let's like put people on, in the sense that if you know an opportunity, let him know, like, hey, like, cause like if like I have a few friends back home in Ghana that even play basketball, like basketball is like a high school sport, like back home where they play like Sprite, it's like this competition between high schools that they play, and I think the biggest thing is, putting somebody on, because one person does not know all the knowledge, you don't know all about the opportunities that are available, but you just gotta put people on, so if you know something that someone doesn't, like, hey man, this is what's going on, this is what you could do. I think at the end, like when we keep doing that, people will be, privy to the information and they'll get to know a lot of things. And then, we can shed more light. Cause like, of course, like, so everybody's trying to get the next Joel Embiid. Everybody's trying to, get the next, what do you call, like, style bender, like Israel, So if like Israel knows somebody that's working hard like he did, or knows like, if somebody knows Israel, knows another kid that is working hard like that, make an introduction. I feel like, connections, contacts, networking, I think that's big, so trying to network, and then the people back home that are doing their thing, just keep doing your thing, bro. And then like use social media, bro. Now because of social media, you can see somebody that's in like, Ghana or like somewhere in like Kenya or like Congo doing something, TikTok. Put it on TikTok, all of a sudden like, oh man, he nice. And then before you know, it's in the hands of like a scout. So like just use the resources available that you have, like the social media, all those things that are cheap, like that don't cost anything, and then use the people around you, cause like me, if I have a problem, I feel like I know something that Taylor might do, best believe I'm calling Taylor. Like, yo, man, what's going on? Like, what do you know about this? What can you do? Do you know somebody? If he doesn't, he might know. If he doesn't know, he might know somebody that might know something about it and put you in contact. So yeah. So networking for sure. Use the people around you in a good way. Just I feel like that will help us.
Definitely. Because also Francis Ngannou too, is now creating a like boxing or MMA club in Africa now. So to also train young men, the young people that are being driven by the sport and want to improve. So he's really doing something. So that's kind of innovation and people that we feel like, hey, we here. All right. So we've got the knowledge, we've got the resources. What can we do for our countries? But most of African, where they come here, what they do is like they just being content with the resources, the money, the knowledge. They just keep that for themselves, limiting yourselves to what you have. But if we can be like open-minded and see what we can do, bring back to Africa. But also something else that I want to pinpoint is when somebody's here in maybe in Europe, United States, in Canada, whatever you are. So, and then you want to go and invest in Africa. You want to send you money so that they can also buy maybe a land for you, or they can do. So now the problem is people there, they take the money, they use it for something else, and you will never see that again. That's also something disappointing, right? So now that's our most of things that we need to talk about, so that we know, okay, people there, they blame us. They're like, you there, you don't come to invest in the country. But when I wanted to come to invest in the country, I'm sending you money to buy something and to say, but you take the money, you use it for something else. Like I saw some last time somebody was like, I think it was on Instagram. Yeah, so yeah, it was on Instagram. Somebody was he started filming himself saying, okay, you know what? He went back to the country and he was crying. It was like, look at what you did to me. He was talking into like local language, right? Look at what you've done to me. I send all my money here every time. You sending me pictures of like homes and stuff, but now I'm back. Nothing is here. You ruined my life. You guys don't know how I was making more money there. I was surviving. So those kind of things when people see. And most people, I was in this conference, even people I said like, they don't really even want to send money back home again because they are so scared and to lose that money. Even your family member, they're like, you know that trust them enough to send money to buy something for you. So what can we do?
I think that goes back to, the mindset thing, man. Of course, you can't do that to people, So like we do need to look within and like, these are things that we need to change about ourselves, Because like recently, like a little bit to what you were saying, Michael Blackson, he built, comedian Michael Blackson, he built a school in Ghana, okay? And I think he put some money in some bond in Ghana, to, be able to run like the school and all of that. And, because it's a bond, like the government will pay like a percentage of it every month. And then I think from what I was reading from his Twitter, it was kind of like, he was going to, be using that money to run the school, and apparently it's just been mishandled in some sort of way, So he was very like disappointed about it and was on like social media all about it, So like we need to change, that's not cool, And I'm not here to bash anybody, but like that just is not cool. Like if I send my money for you to do something for me, I expect it. I expect you to do that. So that just isn't cool, So we just need to we need to change our mindset on how we do things and all of that.
It's just the people back home, they don't adopt the same
You do,
motivation that you
right,
have for
right,
your own
right.
project. So even if you do send money, which is good, but they don't have that same passion that you have to get that project
definitely.
done.
So it's hard. It's hard. I wish I had an answer. One thing I do know is we need to change our mindset. We need to do better.
So please let me
Yeah.
challenge you a little bit. Just a little bit. Both of you. Most of people and almost every time we always say like, we need to change our mindset. We need to change our mind. Every time, everywhere, people just say, how can we change our mindset? That's the question most people don't ask.
Right.
Educating through books, just reading more, and just preparing ourselves in a better way through maybe going through school, and just educating yourself in a specific area that you need to advance in. So and a lot of it is also a spiritual battle as well. So get involved in a church community so that you have something greater for you to fight for, to live for, something bigger than yourself. If you're involved in something bigger than yourself, then you're more prone to give for that, to live for that thing. If you're only living for yourself and you're not seeing the benefit of that, you probably won't be motivated on a daily basis. You have to have motivation to do certain things and see why you have to do it. If you're only living for yourself, you're kind of limiting your potential. So a lot of people have to see why you have to live for other people. And to see that, maybe you can see that in the lens of a spiritual lens, or maybe a business lens or educational lens. So it varies. That's what I would say.
I can't top that. Right there. I cannot top that. I think he hit it.
I agree with that because there is this book. If it gets back to my mind, I will mention it. But it says that a human being, most of people, when we always talk about and saying like, oh, okay, you need to work on your mindset and every time, but we forget that as a human being, we have almost three parts that we really need to work on. We need to work on your mindset. You need to work on your spiritual and even your physical, right? Because if your spirit, you work a lot on your spiritual, but your mindset and physical is not good, you cannot advance and move forward. That's because the same way, it's like you're just feeding your body, but not feeding your mind and your soul. So that you cannot also move forward. You need to put it all together. Your mindset, your soul, and your body together. When you feed everything, you move forward, and that's how things work. Nothing is more than anything. God himself knows why he gave you all those stuff. He gave you a soul, he gave you a mind, and he gave you a body. So because three of them can work together. If you feed one more than others, there won't be any balance in your life. So we need to make sure. I really love what he says. I agree with that. It's a really good point. So we need to work on the spiritual part, on the physical, and our mindset too. And the mindset, like you mentioned, reading books, educating yourself, like you mentioned, networking too. Because I might not know something, but I'm with you right now, right? So I will know a lot of things. So like somebody said, Denzel Washington, I think, he said like, if you take a fifth person, you add him in a group of four stupid person, he be the fifth stupid person. But if you take a fifth person in a four smart person, you'll be the fifth smart person. So it's kind of the place where you put yourself, the environment, the people you surround yourself with that can also lift you up, they can help you. So imagine you come to some place, like you come from Africa, you come here in the United States, and you were not surrounded by good people. You will end up like most young that come here just go and do whatever they want to do. But if you surround yourself, like I have you, I have Taylor, I have Mordecai right there, I have some good people. So now it's help you know, okay, I gotta keep my grind, right? I gotta know like this is what I need to do, because I don't want to mess up and just because it's kind of keeping you on track, knowing, hey, I need to do this and I need to do that. I love it. I would appreciate it. And Dennis, tell me what is that quote that you really live by?
Man, quote that I live by. Let me see. What's a quote that I would say I live by? It might be like a cliche or something, but like just love in the sense that if you love somebody, you're not gonna steal from them. If you love somebody, you won't talk about them behind their back. If you love somebody, you won't do anything bad to them. If you love somebody, if they need help, you will lend a helping hand to them. I try to keep it love with people, and just love, and you can expand it however you want, but like it's love with everybody. Even if I don't agree with you, it's okay. It's still love. I'm gonna let you be who you are, and I'll be who I am. So it's just I feel like my thing I live is love. Try to love. Try to love more. Put more love out there. More positivity out there for people. I feel love, man. That's my thing, man. Yeah, I try. I'm not perfect. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect. It's not every day that I want to love, for sure. Some days hey, that's just the truth. I'm not perfect. Some days I wake up, I'm like, I ain't feeling this at all, but I try, that's the biggest thing. I try to love. I try to love. That's the biggest. I try to love. Yeah.
So as we're coming to an end here, let's speak about one thing, one stereotype, misconception that why a lot of women bash African men. Why? African men are like this. African men too hard. What are some misconceptions about African men that women have?
Not open-minded. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah, people don't think African men are open-minded. Yeah, but it can be true. I ain't gonna lie. It can be true. But I think the thing is, it just depends on who you're dealing with. It just depends on who you're dealing with. Yeah, we just gonna get into this. It just depends on who you're dealing with, okay? So if you're dealing with somebody that has been here for a minute, and has experienced a lot of cultures, I think it's easy for that person to be very open-minded, for sure. But if you're dealing with somebody that is really stuck in like their ways, it's hard for them to be open-minded, for sure. But that's a big conception. People are not open-minded, but I think like people are learning. Let's give people grace. I'm very open-minded, but it's a process, it's a process, you gotta understand, where people are coming from. So I think, you just give people grace, try and teach them, and all of that. And it's a big thing, people, open-mindedness is big, man. It's big, for sure.
Some women say a lot of African men are strict. Right, and they're stubborn in their ways, or they're too dominant, or whatnot.
Not being open-minded. Because, like, if you're dominant, because you believe, man, a man has to be hard or whatever you believe, that's, like, it's a different time, you can't. Not necessarily. That's not being weak. That's not being. There's a fine line. There's a fine line between dominant and being weak. There's a fine. Yeah.
So a man should be.
Here's the thing. The thing is, you just. This is not an episode. That's a little bit of it. So I don't think you should be weak or dominant. You shouldn't. You don't have to be either, it's a situation.
Who do you need to be if you're not being either?
Listen, it's a situation. Everything is relative to the situation. Sometimes, because here's the thing, like I said, like when I said love, there's sometimes in some situations that sometimes you need to put out love and like let people have it a little bit, So it's all situations. So sometimes if you're a man and you feel like you need to be dominant, hopefully it's the best, is it, you're in the right situation to be dominant, and sometimes if you need to be laid back, depends on the situation. Because I don't think it's nice to be dominant when your girl is upset with you. That's a wrong time to be dominant. Would you guys agree with that? That's a wrong time to be dominant.
Yeah.
If the girl is if you did something wrong and she's upset with you, that's a wrong time to be dominant.
This is what I
Talk to
think based
me.
off of that. I would say, as long as, based off of that misconception that people say, if you're in your role as a man where you're either providing or protecting or leading or whatnot, it's okay to step in that realm of dominance because you're exercising your masculinity.
I understand.
As
That's
a
what I'm
man.
saying. It's situation. It's relative. It's very relative. It depends. Like, why are you being dominant in this situation? Is your woman asking you to protect her? Yes.
She doesn't need to.
No. She doesn't need to. But what I'm saying is, like, you feel like that's what I'm saying. Is it a situation that calls for dominance? Yes. Then definitely, put your feet down or be dominant for sure. But if it's not a situation, like there's time and there's a time and place for everything. You can be dominant at the wrong, like you can be dominant at the wrong place, and you'll be all over the place. Like you'll be all over the place with that. But if it's the right place for you to be dominant, sure, go right ahead. So I think it's relative. This will have to be another episode that we booked for, man.
I mean, that's really right. I mean, that question is so good, because a lot of women really don't like being with African men, especially in America, because they say like, so I think we really need to stop this episode because it's going so crazy right now. It's going so crazy.
It's going so well. It just took a bad turn.
Taylor's question is a question where we will need to bring it out and talk about it.
Okay, let me throw this.
Yeah.
Okay, let me throw this.
Yeah.
Another misconception.
Talk about it, sir.
Why-
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Why is it that a lot of what are your thoughts on the fact that people say that Africans are not creative, but thousands of years ago even till today we create some of the world's the world's largest and most expensive art, and we're very creative in our cuisine, in our food, in our culture, in our music, in our language, everything. What do you guys?
I mean, the thing is, even in a lot of museum, right, you find African things there, and people go pay money to go and visit those stuff. I don't know. I don't want to say something that will make me cancel or anything, but
That's not being canceled. Let's go to the British Museum.
But the majority of those things are being taken,
museums have
not
African
even
art.
bought, but taken, stolen from Africa.
I think that's not a secret. We don't need to accuse anybody of anything. But I'm sure if we do go to some British museums or any colonial country museums, you will see things that just don't belong there. Just be like, this does not look like it belongs with the other thing. That's just how it is. That's just how life is. That's not being rude or not trying to.
I don't know why we've normalized that.
It's not. Listen, I heard recently like the British were giving back. They were going to let the Ashantis in Ghana borrow an art that they took from the Ashantis in the first place. Something like that. Right. It's right. It's not right. Like I said, I think we've done very good today.
He doesn't want to talk about it.
No,
He doesn't want to talk about it.
We're very creative. We're very, very creative people. We're very creative people. And like these things are no secrets that, a lot of the colonial countries took a lot from the places that they colonized. That's just the truth. Yeah. So if anybody is of the misconception that Africans are not creative, they're wrong. Have you seen the pyramids in Egypt? Like, look at that. I mean, that's beautiful. There's things in Africa that it will blow your mind that it was done, and all of that. So we're very creative people, and like a lot of things has been taken from them. And I'm not, we're not here today to like bash anybody or something. But that's just how the world is. That's just how it's been. It shouldn't be normal. you know, I do think, we should start talking about some things maybe being returned back to their rightful places for sure. That I agree with. If like, hey, if we know for sure we took this from these people, maybe let's give it back to them, or something like. Because that's kind of been like the root of like recent wars that's going around. Is people feel like things that have been taken back from them, they're upset about it. So yeah.
I mean, talking about creativity, right? Look at the music industry today. You see, even like all the American singer, rapper, and everybody is trying to go and make a like featuring and collaborate with African musicians, and then even bringing the Afrobeat into American like music and stuff. So that just showed creativity, how creative we are, how great we are, and people are coming to us. So people that have that misconception and a like I would say a wrong mindset that African are not creative, I don't really agree with that because we're so creative. It's just that we have limited resources to really put out our creativity outside the way other countries are really able to. So that's what I would say to that. So yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I would really prefer this episode to go on, but for now, I would.
We all having fun right
Yeah, so we're having so fun. I mean, we need to create another episode about that question about so we need to talk about it. But for now, I'll say thank you so much. We would appreciate. I enjoy being with you, Dennis. I enjoy being with my brother Taylor, like and Mordecai right there. So you don't see him, but you will see him today. And
He makes everything
yeah,
happen.
definitely.
Makes,
So we
yes.
really love this. And to people who listen or people who watch, we just want to say thank you so much, right, for your support. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you so much for sharing and throwing all the comment and telling us to improve. And but one thing I want to tell you is you have a question, you have something that's going on, you have a challenge, you have something that is in your mind right now that you want us to talk about. Hey, DM us on Instagram or just throw it down there in the comment section below. So we would take time and grade somebody who is really okay and really maybe not really expert but have experience on that thing that we can talk, because I know people might have something that they want to share, but you don't just want to talk about it because you've maybe scared of people to judge you. Maybe you feel like if I talk about it, somebody will get me in the wrong side. Hey, here we are really an open place where we share, we talk, and we are family. So we love you, we appreciate you, and we hope we see you to the next episode. And if this is the first time, please subscribe, because the bigger we get, the bigger the guest.
It was great, I have fun being here. Appreciate you for inviting me,
we love you,
I love you guys, man. And then, shameless plug right here, just watch out for Fanatics Frenzy, look for us on Instagram, Yeah, coming up, be ready, and we're gonna kill it, wow. Thank you guys, man. Y'all did that. That's right. We did good. We did good.
That was good.
All right.